Hey you guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Omar and here I talk about my journey living in Egypt, travel, languages, everything, and I am here to share this journey with you guys. I want to talk about how I actually learned Telugu language. I made lots of videos on my channel speaking in Telugu, Malayalam, some in Hindi, and I've been asked, how did I learn Telugu? And I don't think I ever made a video talking about how I learned Telugu. I made one talking about how I learned Malayalam. And I did that video in Malayalam, and I think I'll redo that in English. But yeah, so I wanted to do that for Telugu as well because of course Telugu deserves the same respect as Malayalam. And so since I never addressed it before, I will address it now. How did I learn Telugu language? Firstly, learning Telugu was never on my radar. It was never on like my bucket list or anything. I moved to India. I moved to Hyderabad actually back in 2019. I was there for 6 months, was there doing a study abroad program. And Telangana, which is the state, that's a Telugu speaking state. When I arrived there, I realized that there are lots of people in this area who don't speak English. And I knew that in order for me to communicate linguistically and to have some sort of like level of cultural competence, I was going to have to learn the language. I'm no stranger to learning languages. I've learned languages before, and I knew that this was not going to be a piece of cake, but I knew that I was going to be able to learn the language. And so that was the first step, to have the belief system around being able to do so. And so I believed that I could learn Telugu. The second step that I took to learning Telugu was to actually be so intentional about it. I had a Telugu class at the university that I was living at, or I was studying at. So I was studying for a semester at the University of Hyderabad, and I had a class, and I had that class twice a week, and it was about an hour and a half to 2 hours, I think, and it was me and another student who is still today one of my really good friends. So it was just me and her in the class, and so having that, having a really small class gave us a lot more attention from the teacher, and so we were able to really have like the full focus on us every time we went into class. And so we had a really great teacher. He was well seasoned in teaching Telugu. He taught us the basics, the grammar, the writing system, everything, and he was amazing. And I used everything that I learned from that class, and I would use it with everyone around me, like outside of that class. So I would go home. I was in a host family, by the way. So I lived with the host family. The dad spoke English. The mom didn't really speak that much English. And so that gave me a bigger opportunity to learn, to use my Telugu with her. I think my first few weeks in India at the host family's house, she would use a lot more English with me because I knew no Telugu. I did not know any Telugu. But I began coming home with my homework and using more Telugu with her, and she became more comfortable using Telugu with me, and so that's what helped me a lot with growing in the language. That Telugu class was pretty much like the foundation for my Telugu learning because it provided a lot more structure to my language, like the patterns and the verb conjugations. Like, it was a really great class. And so I'm such a intentional person when it comes to languages. I always try to find ways to just use it. I always look for the opportunity. I don't really wait for the opportunity to present itself. I always go out and I chase it. And so what did that look like for me? I would use that class, extract all the information that I could, and use it with students in the university. I would spend hours at a time at my friends' dorms because Telugu people are really hospitable, by the way, just so you guys know. Telugu people are really nice and generous. I had lots of friends who were so happy and willing to help me learn it because they also knew that many foreigners don't learn Telugu because they want to. And so that was also a new experience for them to have someone from America who's actually interested in learning their language. And so I had many friends who were really helping me learn Telugu. I would go to their dorms because they lived on campus. So I had this one friend named Pranay, and he helped me so much. He was so passionate about helping me learn Telugu, and so I was always at his house, at his dorm, after class, taking my notebook to him and having him like explain different things to me. And that was also another thing that helped me a lot, was having friends who are passionate about your linguistic growth. It always helps to have a community of people around you that is supportive and encouraging and really motivating you to grow and to learn the language. And so that's what helped me, was having friends and the host family, because they all provided opportunities for me to use the language outside of the classroom. So in my Telugu class, it was me and my friend. We both had different strengths when it came to Telugu. She was a lot more, she was better at written Telugu, and I was better at the spoken Telugu. So I was able to speak it more confidently, more fluently. She was able to read it really well. And so when we would go out together, we would use that to our advantage. So if we needed like directions or just to know something, I would use Telugu if we needed to like speak to someone, or if there were signs, she would read it for us. And so that really helped us, a lot. I remember being in class and just thinking that this girl is so good at reading Telugu. And I struggled so much with writing Telugu and reading it. I struggled so much. But she was amazing, and so we used that to our advantage. And I think that also helped, is having a friend who's on the same journey as you. That also helps a lot. So having a community of people is always going to be really empowering and really motivating, because it reinforces, because I think a community usually helps to shed light on your path when you're trying to grow to fluency in a language, because you have people around you who are rooting for you. You have people around you who are reaffirming that you can actually do this. And so that helped me so much. Reverting back to the intentionality aspect, I'm so intentional to the extent to where I will go out by myself. I will go out by myself and talk to people and use Telugu, because when you're by yourself, you have no choice but to interact with the locals around you. And also when you're by yourself, you're a lot less shy, I think, and you're a lot more approachable. And so people would approach me. I would go out to restaurants or just run errands and use Telugu with people. And so that also helped a lot, was being able to go out into the world and just use my language and surprise locals. People were always surprised that I was able to use Telugu, and which also helps a lot with like the motivating aspect, because there's no one I don't think there's any local who wants you to fail. There's no local that wants you to embark on this journey and give up, because foreigners don't learn Telugu. So that's a different experience for them to know someone from the US who is taking interest in their culture, taking interest in their language. They want to see you grow and to prosper in this journey. And so that's what really helped me a lot, was always being surrounded by people who are rooting for my growth.